We don't usually do entertainment stories on this show, but I do want to talk about something that happened last night. Comedian Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage by an individual believed to be armed while performing at the LA Hollywood Bowl. There are a number of different videos from audience member cell phones, which started to flood social media. And they showed a man appear to run onto the stage and tackle Dave Chappelle. LAPD told CBS LA that it was a 23-year-old man armed with a replica handgun that contained a knife blade, arrested and accused of assault with a deadly weapon. Police identified him as Isaiah Lee and were holding him on $30,000 bail. Dave Chappelle reportedly not injured in the attack. We're not going to show a picture of the attacker being brought out. His arm is completely mangled as a result of how he was handled by security. And that type of imagery is not allowed on many of our platforms. There is a joke that was made by Chris Rock. Now, this is just sort of a strange random thing. Chris Rock, who was slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars recently, was in attendance, and he came up and told the following joke after the incident.
Was that Will Smith?
Okay, so people having a good time with that. So why am I talking about this? Listen, we cannot have a culture where this is okay. All right. Now, initially, it was sort of like asserted without evidence that the attacker was a trans man attacking Dave Chappelle for Chappelle's recently controversial comments on transgenderism in a Netflix special. That has not been demonstrated right now. And if it was asserted without evidence and it puts the spotlight on trans people who may have nothing to do with this, and even if this was a trans person, to group trans people under what one person did, that's absolutely terrible if that happened, okay? But we can't have a culture where it is even remotely acceptable to do this. Now, I'm not saying we do. People were mostly booing this individual. They were supportive of Dave Chappelle. People mostly have not been supportive of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. But this is the type of thing where violence begets violence, and then it creates the need for, even more security. At sporting events, the same thing has been going on. There was a recent NBA game. I apologize, I don't have the details. It might have been the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm not sure, where people were running onto the court, and I think there might have been some animal rights connection related to the owner of the team, or I don't have the details, but it's this sort of thing where people were showing up, and to demonstrate against the owner, they were running onto the court and trying to approach players. And then so you see even more security, and then you see even rougher treatment of people who attempt to enter the field of play. We are seeing people being assaulted for saying things that others don't like. Now, I want to make a clear line here. I am sensitive to the idea that sometimes there are forms of speech that are violent towards groups of people. Okay, so you can make the case that banning abortion, which is a legislative act that a state can do, it's a big topic, so I'm choosing this one. You could say banning abortion is a form of violence against women. I'm sensitive to that. I am absolutely sensitive to that. But we're not going to solve it by showing up and attacking the legislators. We're going to solve it by voting all of them out, putting in legislators that will legalize abortion. That's the path forward. And we could always say, yeah, but but it's gerrymandering and it's stacked against us. Well, then we got to fix that. I have not seen evidence that just physically attacking the individuals who say the things we don't like is an acceptable means of change. And I recognize the difference between the action of banning abortion versus Dave Chappelle saying something in a special people don't like. Those are two different things. I don't believe violence is going to be the solution in either. And so we all have to condemn this stuff. We can condemn the things Dave Chappelle said, but we also have to condemn the violence. And I don't like the direction that this is going. And I want to hear from you in the audience as to your perspective on what I think is an unfortunately growing trend. One of our sponsors today is Cheese Butter. I love this stuff. Cheese Butter is a delicious gourmet cheese melt that ingeniously blends 4 indulgent cheeses and aromatically seasoned butter. All the ingredients, the cheese, the butter, the seasonings are sourced for the highest quality. You can really taste that this was made with fresh, simple, high shelf ingredients, nothing artificial. Cheese on bread, right? I mean, come on. And butter on bread. Why wouldn't I love cheese butter? Put it on French bread, sourdough, bagels, English muffin, Jewish rye, pumpernickel, sandwiches, grilled cheese, burgers, baked potatoes, mac and cheese, broccoli, veggies. Cheese Butter is a business that supports the David Pakman Show. Support them. Their product is really fantastic. It's been a secret recipe in their family for 50 years. Taste it for yourself to really understand what it's about. I don't think you'll be sorry. And you'll now get 20% off when you go to cheesebutter.com/Pacman. The link is down below.